I'm John Morrissey, Ford Division's Advertising Manager. This is an innovation, and I hope it will turn out to be a better idea. When you jump across the blank section on this record, you'll hear a rationale behind Ford Division's 1969 announcement advertising program. If this recording proves to be helpful to you in spreading the word, the experiment will have been a success. I'm John Morrissey, Ford Division Advertising Manager, and I would like to talk to you about our advertising plans for 1969. But before I do, on the other side of this record, we have some 25 minutes of musical entertainment recorded by our new group, The Going Thing. We hope that you will enjoy this recording and have many occasions to play it. A word about the Going Thing group. It really got its start 2 years ago when Ford Division began to emphasize better ideas. This better idea concept has been so successful that we have continued to use it ever since. This year we wanted to add something to better ideas. Something that would reflect the spirit of the Ford Division, that would reflect our success in open competition, that would reflect a completely restyled line of Fords, that would reflect the ultimate in performance, the ultimate in luxury in 2 new Mustang models, that would reflect the best-selling intermediate line, Torino Fairlane, wagon leadership, truck leadership, a line that said momentum. We think we have it. Our theme for 1969 is Ford, It's the Going Thing. Here's how the Going Thing group handles a brand new Ford Division theme song.
Ford, it's a whole new thing. It's what's happening. It's the going thing. Ford, it's the way to swing. Go and have your fling. It's the going thing. Ford, filled with better ideas. They move, they groove, they prove that Ford gives you better ideas. Ford, it's the going thing. Go, go, going thing. It's the going thing. Yeah. Ford gives you better ideas. Ford gives you better ideas. Ford gives you better ideas.
Now there's a piece of music that's with it, and the fact that it is with it will rub off on Ford Division and Ford Division products. Now about our advertising. In 1969, we have 3 basic ideas that we want to plant. First, better ideas. We have them and we'll advertise them. Secondly, performance. In 1968, Buff spelled performance with a capital F-O-R-D, and for good reason. The hot new Torino in its first year in open competition has virtually locked up the NASCAR championship. Mustang with the 428 Cobra Jet engine completely dominated the Winter Nationals in Pomona, California, and recently broke all kinds of records at the Bonneville Salt Flats. Performance is a major buying motivation. We've got it, and we're going to push it. We're going to introduce Ford's Performance Corner, the place you've got to go if you consider performance important. The words Performance Corner will appear on television, on radio, in magazines and newspapers. With truly competitive engines and parts, our advertising should help get us a corner on the performance market. Our third advertising objective is to capitalize on the momentum that we have going for us in 1969. Primary emphasis will be given to the LTD, the Mustang, and the Torino in all media, and we'll push Thunderbirds in magazines and direct mail. In each car line we have important news to tell. The completely restyled line of Fords has news built in. The photographs of the LTD make it look like a much higher priced car. So we'll let people guess what it is until they turn the page and find out that this is a new kind of Ford. The Mustang is all new. Advertising will emphasize the fact that someone has finally built a better Mustang. We did. Torino Fairlane advertising will capitalize on the great start Torino has. And we will also concentrate on the competitive advantage that we have in the longer wheelbase, more inside room, to further elevate Torino into a fully family-sized car with all the performance anyone could desire. The new Cobra series in the Fairlane line will be promoted as a Cobra without any car designation. It will be our high-performance car at a low price. Thunderbird advertising will emphasize the sliding roof that will continue to keep Thunderbird out front as the innovator. Station wagon advertising will emphasize the fact that Ford is the wagon master and enjoys undisputed wagon leadership. Advertising will feature the three-way tailgate and spell out the advantages that Ford has over competition. We will also appeal directly to women who spend most of their driving time behind the wheel of a station wagon. That's what we will advertise. And there are three key words that spell out how we will advertise it. We'll be aggressive, we'll be competitive, we'll be informative. Aggressiveness is the keynote in our use of media too. For 1969, in response to a dealer council recommendation, we will have the largest announcement television buy in our history. We're going to be on television every time you turn around. Last year, for instance, we had 117 commercial minutes on car in the fourth quarter. This year, we'll have that during announcement month alone, and almost twice that many in the fourth quarter. Here's the figure: 202 prime time commercial minutes. That's like 3.5 hours of nothing but Ford commercials. That's longer than Gone with the Wind, Sound of Music, yes, even longer than it took to show Bridge on the River Kwai. And every single minute tells your product story. We will, of course, again sponsor the FBI. Some pretty fine things, by the way, have happened to the FBI. It's out pulling all of our competitors' shows in the category that is most important: young men with money. That segment of the population that buys the most cars. We will again be a major sponsor on the NFL. Here, too, the audience is right for an automotive sponsor. And that's just for openers. We also have 48 commercial minutes on what has to be the biggest sports event of the year. And it all comes within 2 weeks after announcement, the 1968 Olympics. For the first time in history, most of the Olympic telecasts will be live and will be in prime time. All will be in color. We also have the biggest schedule of participation spots of any automotive advertiser in the fourth quarter. How about Laugh-In, last year's biggest show? We're a sponsor. Movies, you like them? We've got them. Get Smart, if that's your favorite, we're on it. The Carol Burnett Show, we're on it too. Flying Nun, Judd, That Girl, Gunsmoke, you name it, and we'll have a Ford commercial on it in the fourth quarter this year. That's quite a lineup. The FBI, the NFL, the Olympics, and the biggest participation schedule in Ford history. Now, radio, 1969. This year, the division will sponsor network radio during the announcement month. We'll have 40 spots a week on ABC, CBS, NBC, and Mutual. Our network spots will run during drive time and on weekends. We will also have 3 weeks of spot radio in the top markets with as many as 200 spots per week. We will use the Going Thing group to establish our theme and to tell our product story in both network and spot buys. In addition, in partnership with Autolite, we will have 15 weeks of radio on over 600 stations throughout the country featuring the computerized middleweight championship fights. We will have an average of 6 commercial minutes on every fight every Monday night. And doing the commercials will be some of the biggest names in the fight business. Names like Sugar Ray Robinson, Angelo Dundee, Jimmy Ellis, the current World Boxing Association champion, and of course, Rocky Marciano. Now here's a spot by one of the greatest fighters of all time, Sugar Ray Robinson.
With me is the man most people call the greatest fighter pound for pound to ever put on a pair of boxing gloves, Sugar Ray Robinson. Ray, how'd you get that name?
A friend of mine, his name was Ray Robinson. I asked him to loan me his birth certificate, that I could obtain a fight license, that I would return his name to him when I became of age. But by the time I became 18, everyone knew me as Ray Robinson. And then one night, after coming out of the ring, our newspaper man remarked that I was a sweet fighter. And the lady in the first row said he's sweet as sugar. And the next day he wrote Sugar Ray Robinson, and that's been with me ever since.
Well, everybody knows that name now, Sugar Ray Robinson. And of course, the big name in cars for 1969 is Ford. Now, you've been looking at the 1969 Ford. What do you think of it?
Well, I'll tell you, it's very deceiving to call this a Ford because it certainly looks like a Cadillac. It's the biggest car of its class, but it's got a shorter turning radius that is even shorter than last year. You feel as though you're sitting in the cockpit of an airplane. It glides so as if you're in one of these Jet 707s. They say Fords are quiet, but really, This is the quietest car I've ever ridden in. Boy, does it hug those curves. It really rides.
The big Ford is the big change at your Ford dealers. And if you want to know how those Ford engineers gave it a wider stance and more room and still came up with a shorter turning radius than on last year's Ford, you better see your Ford dealer. The place you gotta go to see what's going on.
Ford has a better idea. It's the going thing.
While we're on the subject of radio, we have another well-known name in the sports business, Van Patrick. He has his own network sports program and will sponsor it. More radio? Okay, we've got it. Notre Dame football and their coach, Ara Parsegian. He has a radio show preceding the Notre Dame games, and we're sponsoring it. By the way, Ara will be doing both radio and television commercials for Ford this year. That's Ford Radio 1969. It's about twice that of any announcement radio we've ever had before. Magazines 1969. Here too we will dominate the medium with aggressive advertising. Here too our copy will be competitive and informative. We will kick off the magazine schedule with a pre-announcement ad on the back cover of Life magazine. It will tease Ford's new grille, introduce the Cobra emblem, and the Cobra 428. Whet the consumer's appetite for the comfort that's built into the front seat of the Ford line. Introduce the three-way door gate, the Thunderbird sunroof, and the hot performance look of the Mustang Mach-1. 2 weeks later, we will announce the LTD with a 3-page gatefold in Life, Saturday Evening Post, and Reader's Digest. And in each of these magazines, a 4th page will describe the 1969 LTD with such competitive copy as: the 1969 Ford hugs the road with as wide a track as Cadillac. It smooths your ride with a longer wheelbase than Chevrolet. Has more headroom and legroom than a Chrysler Imperial. Tough, to-the-point copy that has a bucket full of consumer benefits succinctly stated and realistically proven. That's what we're going to do with our LTD this year. We're going to prove that you could never before get a car so big, so luxurious, so well built at a Ford price. At the same time, Look magazine will announce Mustang 1969. It too will be a gatefold. It too will dominate the magazine and all other manufacturers that announce in the same issue. Here, as in all Mustang advertising, we will emphasize the fact that someone has finally built a better Mustang. We have. Copy will be aggressive, informative, and all Mustang. While the general magazines are covering Ford, Mustang, and Torino, 13 special interest publications will carry our Thunderbird announcement ad as a 2-page spread. It will feature the sunroof, a new Thunderbird innovation. Copy will reinforce Thunderbird's long history of innovation. That's just the announcement schedule for magazines. Our follow-up schedule in the 4th quarter will include 10 2-page spreads in Life and Look. What's more, we will announce our wagon line in Better Homes and Gardens with an 8-page Wagon Buyer's Digest. Let's sum up. Gatefolds in Life, Post, Digest, and Look. Spreads in 13 magazines. An 8-page unit in Better Homes and Gardens. A spread in Playboy. 10 follow-up spreads in Life and Look. And to frost the cake, in the year-end issue of Life magazine, we will run a 17-page unit that will tell the complete Ford story, all cars, all wagons. It's similar to last year's Buyer's Digest and should lead us into the January selling season in as aggressive a way as possible. That's Magazine 69. Like radio, like television, it's imaginative. It's a strong schedule. It's unique, and above all, it's aggressive. Newspapers 1969. Here too we have a better idea. Rather than announce our complete line in one all-dealer point release as we have done in the past, we're going to hit competition with a 1-2-3 punch that should make 1969 our strongest newspaper announcement ever. We will be in newspapers on September 26th, September 27th, and September 30th. On September 26th, which is Chevrolet's introduction date, we will run a basic release on the LTD that asks that Ford be compared to Chevrolet. We think that any comparison the reader might make between Chevrolet and Ford will be favorable to Ford. We'll come back the following day with an all-dealer point release based on last year's newspaper ad, which was one of the best-read advertisements of the year. It's a presentation of our 3 major car lines, Torino, Ford, and Mustang. On September 30th, 3 days after our announcement newspaper ad, we will run an advertisement that establishes the Ford dealer as the place you've got to go to see what's going on. This ad will be based on the reactions of showroom visitors during the announcement period. It will be kind of a massive testimonial advertisement that will reinforce our third advertising objective, momentum. Outdoor 1969. We have expanded the number of markets that will receive paint units. These markets will also get 24-sheet posters. All dealer point markets will be given a poster showing split 50% LTD, 50% Mustang. In direct mail, we will have an announcement mailing to Ford owners, and after the first of the year, we will continue the competitive mailings which were started this year. Truck advertising will continue to be developed for each of the various truck product lines. For 1969, individual campaigns are again developed for the standard pickup, the Econoline van, and the bigger trucks. And for the first time, our specialty vehicles, Bronco, Ranchero, Club Wagon, and the camper pickup, will be combined under one advertising campaign. Pickup buyers want a tough, durable vehicle, but one with such car-like attributes as ride, handling, interior styling. Ford pickups combine driver-oriented features with a tough truck, and consequently our advertising proposition comes right off the product and is believable and acceptable by the pickup prospect. Works like a truck, rides like a car will again be our theme for 1969. Econoline van advertising will be a carryover for 1969. We will hammer away at the exclusive better idea features that make all other vans obsolete. The van is truly unique in its field, and the prospect will be told this consistently in television, direct mail, and magazines. A completely new strategy for marketing our specialty vehicles will be put into effect in 1969. These vehicles can do much more than an ordinary second car, and therefore we have combined these vehicles under one advertising theme which simply states, maybe your second car should be more than just a second car. Under this second car with a better idea bonus concept, we'll talk about the number of people that our Club Wagon can carry, Ranchero's load space, the camper pickup, which is half motel, and the Bronco, which is half mountain goat. That's about it. That's the kind of advertising program millions of people will be seeing in the fourth quarter. It includes a television schedule that is twice that of last year, a radio buy at least twice that of last year, dramatic new uses of magazines and newspapers, an expanded outdoor schedule. I hope you'll agree that this is a new high for Ford Division. Advertising for 1969 that is as competitive as our products. Truly, for 1969, if you want to see what's going on, you've got to see your Ford dealer. Ford, it's the going thing. Thank you.
Ford gives you better ideas.